This is Owen Shaughnessy talking about 5 notorious sweatshops. First up is the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. This sweatshop was notorious for its product and its reputation as one of the most cruel in its time. It is also mainly famous for the reason as to why it is no longer with us, that reason being it burned down, and many people lost their lives. This disaster has become known as the most catastrophic industrial accident in industrial history. The company was owned by Max Blank and Isaac Harris, immigrants from Russia. They founded the company in 1900 and had their first shop together on Woodster Street. They named the Triangle Waste Company. By the time they were in their new building, they had occupied the floors 8 through 10. The fire started on 8. This diagram shows where the fire may have started. The fire's cause no one knows, but it started at about 4:30 p.m. on the 8th floor, when workers were leaving. The fire quickly got out of control. As a last attempt to put the fire out, the 8th floor water hose was unraveled, but when they went to turn it on, no water came out. People on the 8th floor shouted up messages to the floors above, but floor 9 didn't get the message. Those people didn't know the fire was there until it was on the 9th floor. The elevators in the building didn't do much for everyone. They packed the 4 elevators with 30 people each. They made only a few trips before the fire reached the elevator shafts. The fire escape wasn't much help. 45 people made it down, only 12 made it down safely. The fire escape buckled and fell away from the building. Locked doors only made it harder for the people to survive, as they couldn't be opened, and fire truck ladders could only reach the 2nd floor, so those who were closest to the windows started jumping. Out of the 500 workers, 146 died, and all but 7 dead were identified. Next on our list is Packingtown Chicago Meat Factory, 1906. An author named Upton Sinclair publishes his latest flop, The Jungle, just as suspicious air of speculation has arisen from the meat factory in Packingtown, Chicago. Sinclair wasn't concerned about the multiple complaints of bad sanitation in that workspace, but the plight of those who worked there. He decided to go see for himself. What he finds is that many food products seem to pass inspection do not, and sometimes food goes entirely unchecked. Sometimes food that is packaged may not be safe to eat. Third on our list is Toyota, Tokyo, Japan. A certain car assembly plant in Tokyo, Japan uses sweatshop-grade labor. In 2008, one faced allegations of human trafficking. Yes, human trafficking. Guest workers from China and Vietnam, are reportedly stripped of their passports and forced to work in pretty ugly conditions for 16 hours a day. In 2002, a car assembly plant also owned and used by Toyota came under political and humanist fire when a worker by the name of Kenichi Uchino collapsed and died during his 4th hour of voluntary overtime. What is worse, these people like Kenichi didn't even get paid for extra for their overtime. In response to this incident in 2002, Toyota limited overtime hours to 360, though some workers stick around to do work even after the lights go off. Toyota is among the newest to be widely known as a sweatshop user. Our next victim is Nike Sweatshops. Nike is a company we know and love. This company would be the last on anyone's minds to have a couple thousand sweatshops making the goods we know and love. The fact is, that is exactly what Nike has, sweatshops making everything for Nike. Not only that, but they use child labor. Conditions are deplorable, but in a modern sense, and some workers get little money if any at all, and all Nike does is baskets and bathtubs full of money. This is happening all today in the 21st century. One would think that this would have gone away. Last on the list is the Peace Market, Seoul, South Korea. A textile factory in the 1970s treated its workers more like assembly robots than humans. A worker named Chong Tae-il, 22, exclaimed, "Workers are not machines," and lit himself on fire in protest to those working conditions. Talk about a belief. It seems to me that this peace market wasn't still peaceful. At the same time, Tae-il's self-destructive protest, another protest of women's rights, was erupting, and a whole slew of lawsuits was already happening. A military coup was also taking place. This peace market really isn't peaceful.
Losing my mind, gotta see you every day so I can unwind. You're gone for good, that's understood, but you know